Get in there. Do some massive damage. I should really switch to my... Are you serious right now? Come on. Yeah, there we go. We got him in the shoulder. Nice. Nice little thrown weapon damage right there. Maybe I can get a little bit more. Nice. Hello and welcome back to our Sturgian Viking. We're here at another town of the Vlandians and we're going to be attempting to take it. I know, this seems like a bit of a weird decision to make, but yeah, trust me, it's absolutely fine. Because here's the thing, I did a little bit of evaluating about our current forces. Sturgia seems to be a little bit not really knowing what they're doing right now. They seem to be kind of spreading their forces a little bit too thinly. I don't know why they're doing that, because they have just declared war against 2 additional factions, and while those factions are not exactly dangerous in many different ways, because they are 1, the Britannians, and 2, the Western Empire, or Northern, or whatever. But whatever the case, that particular Empire faction only has about 800 combat strength, so yeah, not much whatsoever. However, the Britannians are obviously still running around with a pretty significant amount of units, and so that's going to be another wrench to throw in the works there, to throw in the gears, the cogs of war is what we're currently dealing with. So it's a little bit, well, problematic, because now we are having extremely small armies in all kinds of situations, and those armies are not really going to be that helpful, because whenever I call for some of our vassals, they're running out of food, they're running out of, well, basically everything. They don't have that many high tier units, they are pretty weak, and they need a little bit of a respite. I feel like they need some time to just relax and try to build up their forces once again. That's basically the only thing I can think of right now. Because as it stands, I don't really know whether they're going to be able to continue on the warpath at this rate. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's just one of those things. You know how it is when, you know, if you know someone or if you yourself work really hard and then you just push yourself a little bit too much, and then boom, you become exhausted and burnt out, and it is very damaging to yourself. And as a result, that's exactly what the Sturgians are doing right here. They are overextending themselves, and as a result, we might very well see them self-destruct in a way. And that is not what we want whatsoever. We really do not want them to do that. That is probably the worst thing that they could do. Oh, Magna, one of our oldest companions has now died. Again, you probably don't know her or anything. I mean, you might, because she has been around for quite some time, but in general, do I care? Not really. That's the main problem with Bannerlord at the moment, especially with the death mechanic. You're not really going to care too much about companions. And if they do end up dying, well, you can't really do much about it. There's not much to do about it. You can't resurrect them because there's no necromancy. I mean, obviously there's no necromancy, of course. So yeah, you know, it's kind of a bit of a weird situation to be in. Anyway, there's this guy over here that I would like to murder. So that's exactly what we'll do. I would like to disband the army for the moment as well, because there are a number of people running around the Vlandian territories attempting to take things back from us. I don't like this one bit. I'm actually going to give this to myself. I do not like Vipon taking it, because more than likely he's going to leave us, and I've just spent a huge amount of time and effort taking it. And while he is helping us indeed, at the moment, that can change very fast, as we know. So I don't really want to chance that if at all possible. So let's just continue to take all of the loot there, and we're going to be executing this guy as well. There we go. I believe he is an Azerai defector. And we're going to take a look, actually, at what's going on here. Yep, as you can see, the Sturgians have perfected the aggressive approach, but by perfecting it, they have indeed shot themselves in the foot. in many different ways. So, Vlandia, as you can quite clearly tell, is basically done. There's probably not much they can do to us at this point. The Northern Empire is also done. Western Empire, also similar situation. Southern Empire actually has a decent amount of combat strength. Khuzait, obviously, are perfectly fine as always. And the Batanians are at 5,400. The Azerai are creeping up there as well. They're actually doing pretty nicely, hilariously enough. And otherwise, I'm going to just do a little bit of managing of our town here. No, not this one. I want to go in here. There we go. Okay, so these guys are going to do this. We're going to just put a little bit of money in here so that these things can be built as soon as possible. Now, the last thing that I knew, and there were a couple of people around Varyag Castle, as far as I'm aware, an Azerai army, as you can see, yes, Azerai army led by Arwa is actually over there, and she is apparently attempting to cause some problems. So I'm not a big fan of that, if I'm honest. Thank you. Yes, we don't really like people that kill innocent villagers, except if it's us, of course. Just ignore that. Anyway, we're going to hopefully be able to murder more and more and more people as much as we possibly can. I'd actually like to take a look at Vlandia right now. Yeah. As you can see, I've actually done quite a lot of executing. Let's just say that. There's this guy, he only has this, and there's only one guy left on that, and Moriana is the last one there, Lucand, and various others. That's literally it. Wow. That is literally it. What actually happens, by the way, if the entirety of the vassals included in a faction get executed? Because as far as I'm aware, I don't know. We've done that once before, I believe, or we attempted to do it, and what happened was the fiefs changed ownership to the enemy, to the enemy of my faction, and that didn't really work out as intended. Let's just say that. Okay, so we might have a little bit of an issue here. I just want to take a look at my army real quick. Okay, yeah. We need to do a little bit of restoring real fast. But otherwise, we do have a number of other little traits that we can indeed take here. So, clan life expectancy is increased by 10%. Clan members' fertility is increased by 20%. Basically, none of these make any difference whatsoever. Basically, pointless traits, in my opinion. Your cavalry deal 50% more damage to simulations. Your infantry deal 50% more damage to cavalry in simulations. Well, this is obviously going to be the what I will take, because I basically do not have any cavalry in my army whatsoever. And otherwise, we're just going to try and run around a little bit here. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to be able to attack this army. I need to restore myself just a little bit. I don't need a huge amount of extra units, but I'd like to get to about 290 maybe. Maybe even 300 if I'm lucky. But generally, I'm needing to be a bit careful here. Needing to be a bit careful. Oh, what's that? Hello there. I'm gonna leave the army alone for the moment while I go and attack this person, because we do need to try to limit the spread of the Batanians as well. And you can see here that we're not really losing that many people by auto-resolving either, so that's pretty good. And the amount of money that we gain from all this loot is just incredible. It really is. Absolutely incredible. So otherwise, I'm actually losing people. Are you serious? I'm actually losing money every single week? That's crazy. Idrun, what are you doing? Idrun, come back here. I don't even know what she's doing right now. This is perfect. Look at this. Look at all of our vassals ganging up. Yeah, perfect. All right. So generally what I'd like to do here is... can I make peace, actually? I would like to. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so apparently there is no option to make peace with people in these kinds of situations. Bit weird. I thought that we could actually make peace, but maybe I need to speak to the liege of the faction. As far as I'm aware, we were able to speak to randoms in the past to make that happen, but maybe that is not the case any further. So, well, never mind. Okay, let's go into shield wall formation. They are making their way towards us. We're actually fighting in the village, which is going to give us the advantage. At least I think so. Unless the enemy is able to gain some kind of advantage in terms of environment. No. So it should be okay. Should be okay. Okay, so let me actually just move my other forces into position here, archers and so on, and we should be fine. Oh yes, please get a hit in the arm. Ah yes, wonderful. The Aserai, of course, do have their amazing horse archers, which I very much do not appreciate whatsoever. I would much prefer them to be gone, but you know my thoughts on horse archers already. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. I'm going to continue to just keep shield wall up, and there's the main contingent of the enemy forces, so let's just move in here. Get him. Yeah, 72 damage, nice. On the head, too. He should be dead. He should be dead from that. Come on now. Okay, so let's move these guys over here, move these guys here. We're taking a little bit of extra damage, but that shouldn't be too bad. As long as we can kill the majority of their units, that is all that we need to do. Even if they do have a couple of horse archers remaining, that's really not going to make too much difference. Get them. Yeah. Get in there. Get in there. Do some massive damage. I should really switch to my... Are you serious right now? Did I really just take that much damage? Oh, of course. You know, I feel like the AI cheats sometimes. And I'm not even talking about cheating in terms of, you know, campaign AI, giving them additional money and stuff like that, because that is quite exuberant as it is, or, you know, just extremely luxurious to give them so much in the way of money. But apart from that, they seem to react almost instantaneously to anything the player does. And did you see what actually happened there? If you didn't see it, then I'll just go over it real fast. I switched to my two-handed, and basically a split second later, probably like 0.2 seconds later or something like that, I got shot in the head by a ranged unit. Now, of course, yes, you're probably going to call me paranoid or something like that, and you're probably just going to say it was just a coincidence. But don't you think that's a bit weird? I think that's a bit weird to get shot in the head. I mean, yeah, okay, I'll probably get shot in the body or something like that. Yeah, I could definitely see myself getting shot in the body, but I didn't see any archers in that area, and all of a sudden, boom, headshot. I have no idea how that happened, but okay. I guess that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. And, well, I guess we're okay, at least. We are surviving, which is all that really matters at this point. And we are being able to continue commanding our units. And you can see here that we've just completely swept over the land. I actually really love these kinds of views, because as you can see, look at all of our forces. They're everywhere on this particular map. Look at that. I really like that quite a bit. It really gives you a grand scope of what is actually going down on the battlefield, rather than just seeing a small contingent of units in one particular area. It's really making a huge impact on your visuals, and I very much like that. Anyway, there you go. We were able to achieve victory, and we were able to take a number of them prisoner, and we will be murdering. Yes, more murdering will be happening here. They hate our guts anyway because of the amount of executing we've been doing to other people, which I still don't actually understand, because personally, if you execute your enemy, as someone rightly mentioned in the comments in a previous episode, if you execute someone that you are indeed having a problem with, then that's absolutely fine. But then also, if that person has an enemy from somewhere else, then surely that enemy is going to be pleased that you've eliminated their opponent. That's my point. So definitely needs to be some revisions on the execution mechanic, in my opinion, as well as a number of other mechanics, of course. I mean, that's exactly what early access is for, after all. Anyway, let's move on. Let us move on. So this is what's currently looking like in the Vlandian territory right now. The Battanians, they are definitely going to be someone that we will be attacking as well, but I do need to be a bit cautious about that in general, because as I've said before, they do have quite a few units still remaining at pretty much full strength. You know, it's actually really hilarious. I've been running into a whole bunch of Battanian vassals, and they all seem to have about 50 to 70 units. I really don't know why. I mean, they've had a significant amount of time without any kind of war with the Sturgians, at least. And as far as I'm aware, I think they're only at war against the Vandians. So being at war against the Vandians at this point is probably a pretty easy endeavor to have to deal with, because, well, you know, we've basically completely destroyed the Vandians in every single way, except, well, by taking their fiefs and stuff like that. But we are now here at Caerban-Seth, because I thought to myself, okay, well, a good way to go about this would be to try and connect our small territory over there that is Rovolt and Ostican and Turby Castle, and try to connect the Sturgian territory of Pendrake Castle, Nevyansk, and so on with Caerban-Seth, Druimore Castle, and Ormondfard. That seems to be a good way to go about it, at least in my opinion, because what that's going to do is that it's going to increase our trade, it's going to increase the security in the area, and it's generally just going to make things so much simpler. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that without being interrupted, mind you, because obviously there's going to be a number of vassals coming in and being like, hello there, what's going on here, and so on. So it might very well be that we will not have a very good time, but we'll see. Now, this is also something to bear in mind. If you're ever in a siege defense situation, which, as I've already talked about in previous episodes, being in a siege defense is pretty hard to get into, but if you are in one, it is highly recommended to build ballistas on the defensive walls, because this particular town right here has been building catapults, and you can see here I've had no issues whatsoever in dealing with this at all. Like, literally no issues. No problem, no nothing. Really simple to deal with. However, the other town that we took in the Vlandian territory, that continued building ballistas again and again and again. And I actually had to rebuild my trebuchets multiple times to be able to make any inroads whatsoever, which is actually a fantastic thing indeed. So ballistas versus trebuchets. If the trebuchets are getting unlucky with their accuracy and the hits that they're able to make, then ballistas are going to win every single time, because they are pinpoint accurate. They're able to deal massive amounts of damage in a quick amount of time. And if the trebuchets are, as I say, particularly inaccurate at that point, they're going to absolutely stomp in every single way. So yeah, ballistas are really, really good in defeating trebuchets, at least. Maybe not onagas, so it really depends on what the enemy is building, but generally trebuchets, if they build trebuchets, then you definitely want to go for ballistas, at least in my opinion. That seems to be the way to go. Obviously that could be just my own experience, and it might just be a random chance that actually worked that time for the AI, but they really did a very good job of putting up a pretty stiff fight. It was kind of hard to get through those ballistas, because again, the ballistas are also extremely quick at being built. So even if you kill one, and then your trebuchets end up being extremely inaccurate once again, then another one is going to take its place almost instantaneously. Because those things are built in literally like, what, 5 seconds or so? And trebuchets take 20, 25. So yeah, it's a big deal, you know, it's a big deal. Come on. Yeah, there we go. We got him in the shoulder. Nice. Nice little thrown weapon damage right there. Maybe I can get a little bit more. Nice. In the chest. Ah, missed him with the last one. Never mind. Not enough power behind that. But I can turn around and now deal some more damage. Yeah, get him. Oh, 220 damage against him with the head attack right there. Head slash. Nice. Nice overhead to finish this guy off as well. Very good. And that is indeed a victory for us right there. Look at that. Super, super quick. Super easy. I can't retreat if enemies are nearby. Ah, yes. I don't even know why that happens. I really don't. I feel like you should be able to retreat at any point as long as victory has been called. You know what I mean? Because there's no way that they're going to be able to do anything to you. Anyway, there you go. That's indeed a victory for us. We've taken Caerban-Seth, and, well, that was pretty simple. I think we'll probably head on to another one very, very close by. It doesn't really have anything here. I was hoping that it would actually have more cash, but it doesn't. And yeah, so this is what I'm basically planning on doing. Just connecting these two territories up here, and then maybe sweeping down and maybe taking all of the Batanian territory as well, because the Vlandians are so incredibly damaged right now that they really can't do that much against us. I think they have a grand total of like, what, 5 vassals that can do anything, and the only thing that they actually have is some very stable, very strong garrison defenses. So taking their towns is going to take a bit of time, but I don't think it's going to actually be that difficult to do. However, we do have to now be very careful about... Did they take that? They apparently took that. Okay, because I was a bit wondering about the vassal that joined us in the previous episode, because they joined us and brought over Varnovopol, and now all of a sudden it's now part of the Crusade again. Yeah, the Crusade do tend to have that annoying characteristic where they tend to come in from the top of Sturgia. And I'm focusing obviously down here, and it would be fantastic if we could, you know, continue taking all of this stuff, but it is proving to be quite a challenge. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. It is greatly appreciated. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.